See, it's here. I knew it would be here, but everyone was saying no it won't, just because I'm old and follically challenged and you think I'm incompetent, but it's here. We're actually into April. It's April the 4th. It's officially spring. The sun is blazing down out of a beautiful cloudless blue sky. It's quite cold and it's quite windy, but it augurs well for a beautiful, beautiful day. Molly and I are going to make the most of it. We're out here with the sheep, with the bird song. Molly's had her haircut, everybody's happy, and all is well with the world. It's fabulous. God, I love this. Doesn't it just make you feel alive now that the sun's out? Now it's dry because it's rained continuously now for 40 days and 40 nights. I've seen lots of arcs going past, but it's not, it's beautiful. The ground's drying up. You're not walking out in your wells anymore. The paths have dried and almost dusted. They're almost wind blowing the dust off the top like the Dust Bowl in America, wherever it is. There's buds on the trees. Thousands of buds. Blossom is out. Just heard the woodpecker. Birds are singing away like mad. It's absolutely unbelievable. It just makes you so happy to be alive. I'm lucky in that I don't have to go to work. So, yeah, you can get out, everybody get out in it, but I'm lucky in as much as everybody else is at work, so I do tend to get the place to myself, to ourselves. And that's a wonderful, wonderful blessing on a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm loving it, kids. There's like a bit of a valley to the left of me here, and I can hear a stream. I can't quite see it, it's in the shade, lots of trees, but I can hear water running and running. I'm on a path now that I haven't walked up for perhaps 50 years since I was a kid. And I just thought, oh, we'll take a detour off our usual walk, and it's quiet and it's beautiful. It's leading upwards, so that's going to be a bit of a struggle for me with my art complaint, but I'll keep plodding on at my own pace and it will be very beautiful. To the left of us, to the right, sorry, I don't know whether you can see it, but that's like the Rivington Gardens area up there in the trees, and you can just see the top of the Pigeon Tower. And I will leave a link to that at the bottom of this video as well. I did a couple of years ago, I did 2 videos. One did quite well, got about 1,000 views I think, but one did really well. I think it got about 6,500, 7,000 views. And it was a walk round Rivington Terrace Gardens, which was built by Lord Leverhulme in the early 1900s. And it's an absolutely fascinating place, and if you ever manage to get up to the north of England and the South West Lancashire, the Bolton area, it's well worth a visit because it is an amazing, amazing place. And I'll put a link to the video to whet your appetite, because I think you'll watch that and think, yeah, if I'm ever up there, we'll go. Pick a quiet time if you can, because it is quite popular. Next week, it's Easter. And Easter is absolute madness up here. It always has been. Even when I was a kid, we used to come up. Everybody came up from the local towns up to Rivington Pike, which is the hill with like a beacon on top. Listen, bird song. Bird song, sound of a stream. There's a buzzard there flying about to my right. Saw a barn owl up here a couple of days ago in the middle of the day. Don't know what that signifies, whether it was struggling to find food. Looked healthy enough, flying across, gliding across like a beautiful thing. We just passed a field that was absolutely packed with sheep, loads of them, but no lambs. Now, a friend of mine told me a few days ago that she'd seen quite a few lambs in the fields close to where she lives, but there were none there, and there were lots of sheep in the field. So I don't know what the significance of that is. I mean, none at all probably. Then they will be there within the next couple of weeks, so we'll keep our eyes open for that, because that's a great precursor of the new seasons to come, isn't it? When the lambs are out all jumping about in the fields. That's always a nice sight to see, isn't it? Walking on some trees now, and the wind's dropped because we're under the trees, and we're quite sheltered because the land's built up at either side of us. And now we can hear the birds' song. Now it's gone quiet, just got... Can you hear that? It's the bestest sound in the world, isn't it? Bird song. The ground's still very damp. We've had lots of rain, so beside me here, this kind of water course is pouring down to meet up with the stream that's coming down from Rivington Pike and join that, and that'll all tumble down towards the reservoir. Past splits here, so a choice of two. We're going to walk up here now. This is proper English countryside, really. This is kind of... Listen to that, that's amazing. This is proper English countryside. It's like like a generic deciduous woodland that still isn't in leaf yet. I mean, I can see, I'm looking over now at some quite big elm, and it looks like there's some buds coming out on that just by the bit of a colour at the top of them. When you're out walking, it's actually nice to pause occasionally, or often, just to take in. It's easy just to walk and to be looking round and to see the countryside around you, but not to really take it in. And it's nice when the trees opened up, like they have done now for me, and there's a vista in the distance, and there's a field in the foreground with sheep in, and the fields rolling down. I can actually see traffic, which will be on the M6 about 2 miles away. And then it goes up again and rolls, and I can see it going into the mist right towards the coast. I can see the sea over at Southport. I don't know, 40 miles away, was it? 30? Now then, I have found something very, very interesting that I never knew was here. I found a ha-ha. Now a ha-ha, for those who don't know, is a ditch. It's like a boundary. And what you get is a wall on one side, a vertical wall on one side. They're all depths, usually about 3 or 4 feet deep. And then a bank on the other side. And it's a boundary so that animals can't get across it because there's this vertical wall, they can't get down. But when you view it from the other side, you can't see the wall. It's just like this hidden barrier. And it's here, and there's a dry stone wall behind me. Now it's quite old, so it's not really relevant now because there's all this fencing round. There's a dry stone wall down there, then this ditch, and then a bank here, right behind me. So it goes down slowly across, and a sharp wall at the other side, and that is called a ha-ha. Are you glad you came out with me this morning? We'll just stop for a minute. Like I was saying, just stop and take it in, because there's a beautiful view across the countryside to the coast. It's a bit misty, but you can just make out the sea in the distance. Well, I'm glad I came out this morning. I'm glad I came this way. I never knew this. This must be the closest ha-ha to where we are, because I don't think there's that many. You tend to find a lot in the Midlands and that area, Gloucestershire especially. I didn't know there were many up here, but yeah. How very, very fascinating. Oh, this is absolutely fantastic. Spring is here. It lifts your heart. I now look at the weather forecast I looked this morning, and there seems to be more good days than bad days now. We were looking up to about a week ago and it was solid rain and solid rain and solid rain. But now we've got days we can plan. We're going to carry on for a little bit now. I'll show you something else in a second that I've just noticed that you see a lot of. And it's just down here. You'll see this on a lot of footpaths in the country. Probably, I don't know whether they do it elsewhere in the world. But it's a good little idea. And it's this. Can you see this behind me? There's like a little raised line of rocks, of stone there. And there's also like a a little duct at one end, and that's for rain, because when it pours down with rain, the water runs down the path and then hits this and goes off to the side and runs into the stream. And there'll be others down there. I can see another one in about 50 metres down there. Otherwise, it would just erode. It would this whole path would just be eroded away. So that's it. You kind of think, who thought of that? I mean, it's a simple thing, but who thought of it? Because it's incredibly clever. You know, so something simple like that. But we're in the dappled light now, below the trees, and this is beautiful. The bank's raised up to my right. It's like a dry stone wall, so the fields are about shoulder height to me now. I turn my head, I'm looking directly across the bottom of the field at the sheep, and there's a dry stone wall. You can see where people have walked along the top of that. That's probably when it's been absolutely pouring down and the path's been quite wet. And then the path, and there's all the trees to my left hand side, and the light that's coming through is this beautiful dappled light. So that's the beginning of April, and it looks like it's going to be quite nice for the next few days here in the great English countryside. So get out whenever you can. It's going to be mental over the next few days because Easter's coming on, so it's going to be, the roads are going to be packed, the countryside is going to be packed, but see if you can get out if you can, because it's so beautiful. Walk at all times of the day, go out first thing in the morning, go out last thing at night. We're going to go and sit on our little bench for 5 minutes now in the pine Eatum. Then we're going to go home. We're going to have half an hour there, and then we're going to set out again. And all is good. Hope you have a good day, kids. We will see you on the flip. Peace and love.